All right, long time no see. Even though we can't see each other, you know what I'm saying. Sorry for the lack of videos past couple weeks. I've been out of town. I got a little sick, and then I was finishing up with those interviews from that big tech company, which I will get to in a second here. Um, Number one, I just want to thank everybody for watching the videos. It's crazy. Like, the channel growth in the past year is ridiculous, and it's just cool to see that you guys all like the video. So, fuck yeah. And aside from that, I said I would give you an update on the interviews. So last time I made a video, it was about a week before my second interview with the big company. Second interview went super fucking well. It was with one of the department managers there. I ended up getting the third interview, which was like a behavioral assessment. So they kind of ask you some stuff like, hey, you know, have you ever had a disagreement with a coworker? Have you ever called a coworker a bitch? Not like stuff like that. It was like, oh, name a time this happened and how you handled it. Shit like that. Like, easy stuff to answer. And that was a different department head. I think I kind of nailed that one too. I felt real confident in it. I had the guy laughing. We were talking about Skyrim a little bit towards the end. He was a cool dude. So that went well. And then this morning at fucking 7 a.m. my time, I had my fourth interview. And the reason it was 7 a.m. is because the team I'm working on is spread out across the US, Europe, and Asia. And so the guy interviewing me was just, he's in a different country. He's American. He just lives in a different country. If I don't know, doesn't really matter. But, that's why there was no language barrier. But we were talking back and forth. He realized it was kind of early for me, so we kind of made jokes about that. And that was my technical interview this morning. So I got up at 5:30 in the fucking morning. Right now it is 9:09 p.m. when I'm recording this. So like it's not super late, but if I sound a little tired, that's why. Sorry about that ahead of time. I hope it's not fucking annoying to listen to any more than my regular voice is. But yeah, so second and third interview, they went great. My fourth, my technical interview, went pretty good. I would say the first like maybe 3 to 5 minutes, I kind of stumbled. I was kind of like, I made my coffee like 20 minutes before the interview. I was kind of like practicing, and I think I over practiced and over worried about some things. So he kind of was like, hey, bro, like, you're doing good here. Like, you're giving good answers. And that kind of made me calm down a bit. And then the rest of the interview, the next like 35 to 40-ish minutes, those all went super well. And he was a cool guy as well. He was a really sick dude. He was funny. He had a cool little gaming setup there he showed me. And yeah, everything went, really well. I have not heard back yet. I'm assuming they have to all get together, all the different managers. This guy was also another manager. So, out of the 4 interviews, the last 3 were all with like different managers in different departments of like the same like overarching department, I guess is the best way to describe it. At least from like my understanding. And everything went super good. I'm hoping to hear back sometime before the end of this week, but if not, early next week. They have been taking their time sometimes to get back to me. I think I have a really good shot at it. I believe it's down to me and about 3 other candidates, and they're hiring 2, I believe. So, but I'm only available for 1 position of the 2 they're hiring because they need someone in a certain time zone, and I'm just not there. So it's kind of like, a little battle royale for me. I'm fighting for the top spot. And that's kind of how I like it. So I'm excited. But yep, I rambled about that for too long. Just wanted to let you guys know this is not at all what the video's about. I'm so sorry. I don't even. I'm not gonna cut that shit. But yeah, I just want to let you guys know how the interview's going in case you guys, fucking wanted to know. Maybe earlier in the video I'll put like a timestamp when the vid actually starts. All right, so today's story, I mean, you read the title. It's a little fucking ridiculous that I even got myself into this situation. And I'm blaming the job market for a gun being pulled on me. All right? I'm blaming the job market. I'm sticking to it, and you'll see why. because the job market did me dirty. So, I mean, as we all know, I lost my tech job earlier this year, and I was unemployed for a long period of time looking for a new role. And I ended up getting that door-to-door salesman role where I was just like, I was just a bad dude, you know, like at the end of the, like I wasn't like a bad person, but you know, like I needed money, I needed the job. So I was like, they're paying me, I'm going to take the job. Even though like, I'm not going to lie, I get so annoyed if like a door-to-door salesman comes to my house. Like, obviously it's not like their fault, I don't take it out on them, but it's just like, damn, like this is time out of my day. So this is like, it's something that, you know, I wouldn't want to be friends with the person doing my job. So I'm like, damn, like I'm who who I dislike right now. And, you know, that's not all true. Some of the guys there were nice and cool. So, you know, it was cool to see that. But anyways, how this door knocking job worked is that, we would go out in groups of 2 and you'd have a map of like multiple neighborhoods. And it's like, all right, this is your map for the day. And you guys would plan a route together. And the whole idea is to stay within eyesight of each other the whole time. So like if it's a street with houses on both sides, you each take a side. Or if it's a street like houses on one side only, then you would like bunny hop. Like, you know, one person at this door, one person at the next, and then like so on and so forth all the way down. So that's kind of the situation I was in. And now that you guys have some backstory on the job itself, this day was a little different. We had 3 people in total, including myself, right? So instead of the normal you and a partner, it was myself and then 2 partners, which made the map thing a little weird. And we had a smaller map for the day because it was like towards the end of the quarter. So like they were running out of like area they could do, I guess is what they told us. I don't know. I don't trust that company. They're fucking scumbags. But anyways, we're out there and we realized like, fuck, we're burning through territory pretty quickly. And one of the guys in the group took it like really serious, which I mean, like I respect, you know, like if you're going to do a job, do it to your fullest extent. So I'm not going to hate on him for that. So he was like running door to door. He's like, I'm going to get as much doors as I can. He was like purposely trying to like dodge us to get more doors. And me and the other guy, we were cool with it. We were like, all right, like whatever, man. We're all not setting appointments, so we're all getting the same base pay here at the end of the day. And eventually, you know, you run into a problem with these jobs. A lot of fucking neighborhoods say no soliciting on the front. They make it very prevalent, and they reasonably get very fucking upset if people don't respect that, because it's like, if I choose to buy a house in a no soliciting neighborhood, I'm fucking expecting my house to be in peace. And they're objectively right, you know, but when our territory has like 4 neighborhoods and 2 of them are no soliciting, at the end of the day, you can't avoid it. And like, you can't just go to your boss and be like, yo, I'm not going to do this, because they won't give you any more territory. And then they'll also be like, if you're refusing to work, like, we'll fire you, which they make very clear. And they're like, only leave if they like, if they threaten to call the police. That's the only time we're allowed to leave. And I'm like, all right, like, fuck, you know? So this is already a shitty situation for me, at least. I mean, for everybody included, not just me. But, like, I felt really bad about this. I think it's, you know, like I said, like, they're just, like, it's just people in their own home in a no-soliciting neighborhood. And then I'm just fucking knocking at their door like, hey, brother, your windows? I see that you got some single-pane windows here. And they're like, dude, get the fuck out of my face. I don't want to talk to you. And like, they're right. Like I said, they're objectively correct. The homeowners are correct here, and I'm on their side. But like, it's not my choice. You know, I needed a job, so I'm like, I gotcha. You have a great day. And I'm just going right to their neighbor, getting the door slammed on me again. I honestly hated this job for like the 2 months I did it. But, you know, I mean, obviously you guys know I made a whole rant about why I quit the job. But, you know, it gave me some good stories. And I'm starting to realize a lot of this, like the stories I'm going to tell on this channel are kind of related to the job market. And I was trying to like branch away from like employment stuff, you know, because I feel like that's all I make. And I know that some of you guys in the comments were saying you wanted some different style videos. So that's what I'm trying to give you here. And this day was fucking crazy. I feel like I'm rambling a lot here, so I'm going to get to the fucking point. we go through both of the neighborhoods that were that were like soliciting allowed. Then we go through one neighborhood that's a really tiny one, but it was like gated. The gate was open during the day, so we just drove in, and it was no soliciting. There was a police officer there, like for a house call for something else. He wasn't even concerned with us. Like he saw us doing our thing, and he just like didn't care. And then one of the homeowners like ran over to him like, officer, they're committing a crime. And so he was like, all right, well, it's not really a crime. But and then he like went over to us and he was like, hey guys, like I'm gonna have to ask you to leave. If you come back, like I'll have to trespass you and all that. And I was like, all right, like no worries. Like we respect it. We obviously, all three of us, including the guy that was like a fucking sweat, like we all fucking were respectful of it. Like we knew we're in the wrong here, and our company's crazy for making us do this. And we're there, and we're like, fuck, all right, we have one more neighborhood left to go. It's like 4 p.m. I'm like, why don't we just that job, it was an hour before we got off. My job now, I got off at 5. It was like 6 p.m. Because we got off at 7 there. And so it's like 6 o'clock, and I'm just like, dude, we could just like, all go home, because we had to take a selfie before we like left the field. I'm putting that in air quotes. That's what they call it. When we left the field for the day, we all take a selfie in a group to make sure that like nobody left early, kind of thing. And so we were like, I was like, dude, like we could just take a selfie. We'll be good. Like, we'll leave early. And the sweat, of course, was like, actually, I'm trying to hit my metrics, which I mean, like, once again, I don't want to make fun of him, but he was correct. He was literally doing his job, and I can't shit talk him for that at the end of the day. But anyways, back to the point here. We're at this last neighborhood, and I'm like, all right, we're finally here. We'll just, bang this out in an hour, and we're home free. And I'm like, guys, I'll take this cul-de-sac here. And then those two-sided a street. It was a street with like two houses on each side. They went on one side, one person went on the other side. And so the sweat and my homie, they went on one road, and I went on a little cul-de-sac, and I was going to meet them and like kind of work in with them once I got there. So I knocked like the 5 houses there, and everything was good. One lady brought up, like, this is no soliciting neighborhood. And I'm like, oh, I'm so sorry about that. I didn't see the sign. I had to lie. That was our script. I had to say that. I feel bad because like I lied to this lady to her face. It was an old lady. She's like, oh, like no worries, sweetheart. She was the nicest lady ever. God, dude, like, I'm not the most religious man, bro, but for that, I'm probably going to hell. So anyways, I hear screaming as I'm like turning the corner to go like see my my 2 partners. And the try-hard guy, to give you like a little brief rundown of him, he was like really tatted up, and he was kind of like jacked, but he was like shorter, but he was like really, really ripped and like tatted up. And this lady, I turned the corner, and she's got a gun on him. And already, and now I know you're thinking, it's not a clickbait title. Keep listening, motherfucker. But this lady, she's yelling at him like, I don't feel safe. Get away from me. And this, like I said, this is the sweat. He cared. He's like, ma'am, I'm just trying to let you know that your windows. And I'm like, dude, like, I go over, and then he starts yelling at her like, you're going to pull a gun on me? You're going to pull a firearm on me? I have kids at home. And like, he's right. But at the same time, like, he came up to her door. I could see the argument at her point, like on her side still. Maybe not point the gun at him, but be like, yo, I got a gun kind of thing if she's home alone. Like I say, he's a big dude. So like big as in like muscle wise. So, like I understand maybe where her thought process was, and I didn't think she was like some evil person at this moment in time. Then she goes inside, slams the door. He's already like backing out of her front yard. She's yelling at him from the patio. And then slams the door, and we're standing outside the house. The other guy, my homie, comes up, and he's like, dude, what happened? And we're all giving the rundown. And then she comes outside, running out her front door in her front lawn, points the gun at me, which, what the fuck did I do? Bro, I just got there. I didn't even say anything to this lady. I was telling my guy, I was like, dude, stop. Like, he's like still yelling, like, oh, she pulled a gun on me. Like, I'm going to sue her. I'm like, you're not going to sue her. Like, come on, dude. Like, let's get the fuck out of here. She has a gun. We don't. What the fuck? And all this shit's happening. And she pulls a gun on me, like points it at my face. I'm looking down the barrel like 10 feet away because we're in the street. She's at the edge of her yard. And it's like a regular like suburb house, like edge of the yard, sidewalk, then a little patch of grass, then the street. We're in the street there. And she's pointing that shit right at me. Her finger was not off the trigger. I know gun safety, bro. I'm going to say that much. I'm not a great shot, but I've shot guns before. She was certainly holding that bitch like she was ready to let it go. So I was like, all right. Like, you got this. Like, I'm putting my hands up. I'm backing up. I'm like, yo, chill. Like, I'm trying to get us out of here. I'm trying to help you out. We're going to get out of your neighborhood shortly here. And the Jack guy's like arguing with her. He's like, oh, so you're going to point a gun at him now? And I'm like, dude, shut the fuck up. There's a gun on me. And then obviously she like puts it down a bit because like all three of us are yelling like, yo, like stop pointing the gun at, I'm saying stop pointing the gun at me. They're like, yo, stop pointing the gun at him. So she kind of like aims it down towards like the grass, right? She's like, you guys need to leave now. And the try hard, I'm already like, all right, I'm checked out for the day. I'm not working anymore. That's when I first was like, all right, like I'm actually like quitting this job. That was like the first like moment. That was about a week and a half before I actually like ended up quitting and making that YouTube video. So I don't know why I said YouTube video, like you're watching this shit on fucking like Grindr or something. It clearly is a YouTube video. But anyways, he's like, no, I'm going to finish this neighborhood. You can't make me leave. And then like me and my homie eventually convince him. We get him to my car and like all three of our cars, like we're parked along the side of a road together. And so we're like, dude, like, come on. We're like arguing with him a little bit. Like, dude, like be fucking realistic. Slade pointed a gun at you. Like you said, you have kids. Like why the fuck would you want to keep working, like with a gun in this neighborhood that's been pointed at you and this lady that's fucking clearly like off her gourd, bro. And so we're going like all that shit. We're talking to him. And then this random like white pickup truck with like, it wasn't like a spray painted logo, but the logo was like, it wasn't like a wrap. It was like painted on. And it said like something roofing. And these guys are like, you guys knock doors? We're like, yeah, that's what we do. And these dudes look at us and they're like, you want to make more money easier? And it's like, that happened a lot with like the door knocking job for like the couple months I was there. Like anybody that did another form of door knocking, they would all like stop you and be like, oh, you want to make some real money? And then like, like refer you to their company for their referral bonus. But these dudes had like a 12 pack of Yingling in the passenger seat and they were pouring it into their cups. And at first we didn't know, we couldn't see the 12 pack of Yingling yet, right? We just see these like cups and like my homie was like, is that beer? And he's like, no, this is tea, dude. And he's like trying to tell him it's tea. And then, I mean, I don't really drink, so I'm gonna be honest with you now, I don't know the difference between like what the fuck a dark beer and a tea would look like. He had me fooled. My friend was like, bro, like that's a Yingling. And then he's like, yo, you guessed it. And then he like pulled out the whole fucking like 12 pack, which was like half empty. And he's like, yeah, like we just drink these and like door knocks. Like we made like $5,000 today, which they were lying out their ass, but they wanted that referral bonus. So like I said, I can't hate on the hustle, I guess. Like get your bag, but that was preposterous. And as we're talking to them, we're telling them the whole story I just told you guys. And we're like, yeah, that house right there. We're pointing at it. Cause like it's, it's like 8 houses away, 10 houses away. Like it's not far. And then the lady walks in her like backyard. And like I said, I live in Florida, right? So backyards don't have a fence. And a lot of them don't. Like a lot of people just like don't have any fence in their backyards. It's not very common like where I like grew up in California, but in Florida, it's super common. And so this lady's like goes in her backyard, comes out the side, like the side of her house is like yelling at us, gun in hand still, not pointing it anymore. And then she's like on the phone with somebody. I'm like, yo, I think she called the cops. Probably should go. And then I told the guys driving the truck, I was like, like probably like, I was like, I asked the driver, I was like, bro, like you're not drinking. Cause like at the end of the day, like that might sound like a buzzkill kind of thing, but I don't know. Drunk driving is not it, bro. Like that's just, I can't respect that. I can't respect that one. And so, and he was like, no, bro, like I'm straight. He was lying to me, but like not much I could do there. And then like the lady comes out and she drives over to us, right? And I remember she drives because I drive like a Hyundai, and she had the same car as me, but like a newer model. So I was like, damn, like she's kind of car mogging me right now. She's about to like come fucking yell at us and point a gun at us again. And she's over here and she's just like yelling and yelling. She's like, "You guys need to fucking leave." And she goes, "I called the law," which I thought was a dope ass way to say I called the cops. So I was like, all right, like, word, you called the law. I don't want to have a duel at high noon, so let's get the fuck out of here. And yeah, long story short, we were all kind of hiding behind my car, like me and my two coworkers, my homie and the tryhard. While she was like in the road yelling at us because we couldn't see if she had the gun still. I wouldn't put it past her. I mean, she had that shit pointed at my fucking dome, like between my eyes. I was gonna look like fucking Buster Scruggs in a second, dude. So it was not it. But I'm here today. Things seem to work out pretty well, so I'm not mad at it. But I we left, we drove home, we told our bosses, and they were like, "Oh, okay, like we'll make a note not to knock her door anymore, not to stay out the window, not to stay out the neighborhood, but to fucking to not knock her door." So it's like, okay, we can go in that neighborhood, and we'll just like go around her, and she's gonna see us and do the same shit to someone else. So yeah, that's the story of me getting a gun pointed at me. This happened in fucking early June. Right now it is early August, so about 2 months ago, not even a full 2 months. And I'm glad I made it this far. Like I'm glad I quit that job too. Holy shit. So I can't say what the company's name is, 'cause I don't want to get any like trouble with them. Like I don't know what that would entail for me, because there's like a good amount of people that watch these videos. But I will say it's a door knocking company, and they do, they like I said what they offer earlier. They offer some other things besides windows, but I'm not gonna say exactly what. I'm sure it's not too hard to piece it together. But like I said, I don't want to fucking I don't want to deal with any legal repercussions. Like I said, guys, I'm playing a character here. This is just me. This isn't me. This is Lazerda, guys. Like, but no, this actually happened for real. Like, actually, fuck that company. But yeah, so that's all for me. I want to let you guys know as well, the Q&A video that I keep saying, like, I'm working on. I'm just like kind of waiting for more questions to pop up across my comment sections, across all my videos. And I'm kind of compiling those together. I think the issue I'm running into a lot is that when someone has a question, I usually answer it like directly in the comment section. So if I don't answer a question you have in the comments, I promise I'm not switching up on my day ones. I promise I'm not doing that. What I'm doing is I'm just saving your question for the Q&A video, because I felt like it was like a really good question to put in there. So if you have any like questions that you find like interesting, or think you want to know, I guess, like about me, my career, or any stories you'd want me to tell, like if I have a story relating to something, like I don't think I have any is like, that have my life at risk as much as this one, but this one was kind of an extreme example. Most stories that I have are kind of normal shit that happens to everybody, I guess I would say. I mean, I've had some unique experiences. I mean, you guys just had to wait and see. But yeah, thank you all for watching. I got to get better ending my videos, so I'm just gonna fucking do it now. Deuces, peace, have a great day, night, whatever.